Money, in its essence, is an enabler. It is a force that allows for the flow of goods, services, and value from one person to another. But its true power extends far beyond being a mere tool of trade. It shapes our lives, decisions, and even our identities in ways we often fail to acknowledge. What we often overlook, however, is how money has evolved over time, and how that evolution has molded our psychology around it. The birth of money, barter, and early systems. To truly understand the psychological impact of money, we must first rewind to the earliest days of human civilization. Before money even existed in its most basic form, early humans relied on the barter system, a system where goods and services were exchanged directly for other goods and services. Imagine two people. One has a cow and needs a sack of grain, while the other has an abundance of grain, but needs a cow. The exchange happens, but the process is highly inefficient. What happens when one person doesn't need what the other person has to offer? Or when the value of the cow doesn't exactly match the value of the grain? This is the first lesson about money, the limitations of bartering. It was functional, but it didn't offer the flexibility or universality that we see with money today. This inefficiency became a bottleneck as human societies grew larger and more complex, with an increasing variety of goods, services, and needs. Without a standard medium of exchange, economies couldn't scale. So, early civilizations had to innovate. The rise of commodities, the birth of currency. As a solution, societies began using specific commodities with inherent value as currency. Things like salt, shells, and precious metals became widely recognized as a form of money. These items had intrinsic value, meaning they were not just useful for trade, but also could be easily stored and carried. This was a huge step forward, as it allowed trade to extend beyond small local communities. The most significant leap forward came when metal coins were first minted, around 600 BCE in ancient Lydia, modern-day Turkey. These coins, made of valuable metals like gold, silver, and copper, became a more reliable and durable form of money. They were small, easy to carry, and universally recognized. They could be weighed and measured, providing an easy system for determining value. Coins revolutionized trade by providing a standard, reliable means of exchange that transcended the limitations of the barter system. However, even coins had their limitations. They were heavy, and their use became impractical as economies grew larger and more complex. This led to the introduction of paper money in China during the Tang Dynasty, 618 to 907 CE, which further expanded the scope of trade. By the time European nations began using paper currency in the 17th century, money had undergone its first true evolution into something far more abstract than before. Money in the modern era, digital transformation. Fast forward to the present day, and money has taken on new, increasingly complex forms. The paper bills we once knew are now being replaced by digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and even entirely new financial instruments. We no longer have to rely on coins or paper to store wealth. We store it in bank accounts, virtual wallets, and investment portfolios. Digital banking, cryptocurrency markets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the rise of decentralized finance, DeFi, are disrupting traditional systems, making it easier than ever to conduct transactions across the globe, often without ever touching a physical piece of currency. Yet, in spite of all these advancements, one thing remains unchanged. Money continues to be a symbol of power, success, and influence. The tools, systems, and technologies we use to manage our wealth may evolve, but money's role as a marker of status and value remains constant. And here lies the crux of the matter. Money isn't just about numbers and physical coins or bills. It has deep psychological implications, especially as the digital world blurs the lines between reality and virtual spaces. The psychological impact of money, more than a tool for exchange. While money has certainly transformed throughout history, its true power lies in its ability to shape human behavior. At its core, money is more than just an object that facilitates trade. It is a psychological tool that has the power to influence, manipulate, and control. It plays a pivotal role in our desires, ambitions, fears, and even our identities. We often hear that money is the root of all evil, and while this might be an oversimplification, it does capture the dark side of wealth. The truth is that money doesn't just facilitate transactions. It can alter our priorities, our values, and even our perceptions of the world. The pursuit of money, particularly in its excess, becomes more than just about meeting basic needs or securing comfort. It becomes an all-consuming obsession. At the most basic level, money provides security. It is what allows us to survive, buy food, shelter, and other essentials. But once basic needs are met, money begins to take on a different role. It becomes a symbol of power, success, and status. The more we acquire, the more we feel in control, as if our very existence is validated by the numbers in our bank accounts or the balance in our portfolios. For the wealthy, this dynamic is magnified. It's not just about surviving or thriving, but about conquering. The wealthiest individuals are often driven by an insatiable need to expand their empire, to collect more, not just because they need it, but because they can. Their desire is not just about comfort or even happiness. It is rooted in the fundamental drive for power and influence. The wealthiest individuals know that money is a tool that can be used to shape the world around them. Whether it's through controlling markets, manipulating public opinion, or bending the rules of the system in their favor, money becomes a means to an end that far exceeds simple wealth accumulation. The mindset of the wealthy, a never-ending chase. Wealth is often perceived as the ultimate achievement, but for many of the richest individuals in the world, it is never enough. There is always a craving for more. Imagine a person who has accumulated wealth beyond their wildest dreams. They can afford anything they want: luxury homes, fast cars, exotic vacations, and exclusive experiences. Yet, despite all of this, they still crave more. Why? What drives this relentless desire for more? The answer lies in the psychology of greed, not just the desire for wealth, but the insatiable need to always have more. The wealthy are constantly seeking new opportunities, new challenges, and new ways to acquire more wealth. It's not about need anymore. It's about power, about showing the world that they can have more than anyone else. This constant craving is built into their DNA. Take the example of two boys. One is calm, contented, and happy with what he has. The other is restless, constantly searching for more. Both are given a piece of chocolate. The contented boy enjoys his piece, savoring it and appreciating the moment. The restless boy, on the other hand, doesn't just want the chocolate. He wants the whole bar, and perhaps even more, manipulating the situation to his advantage, if necessary. This drive isn't about the chocolate. It's about a deep-seated need to possess more. This same mentality plays out in the minds of the wealthy. It's not just about wealth as a commodity. It's about the feeling that comes from accumulating more. It's about the rush, the thrill of outsmarting competitors, and the sense of power that comes from controlling the wealth and resources of the world. Their success isn't merely about accumulation, it's about domination. The power of manipulation and control. For the ultra-wealthy, money isn't just a tool for personal gain, it's a tool for control. These individuals understand that wealth gives them the ability to shape the world around them. With money, they can manipulate markets, influence political outcomes, and bend the rules in their favor. The wealthiest people have mastered the art of leveraging money to control people and situations. Whether through lobbying, strategic investments, or sheer influence, their wealth provides them with power that goes far beyond what most can comprehend. The wealthiest individuals know how to use their resources to influence not just the economy, but the very systems that govern society. Through media influence, political connections, and massive corporate holdings, they shape public perception, mold policy, and create opportunities for themselves that others can only dream of. It is not just about having wealth, it's about using that wealth to manipulate the world to their advantage. The endless cycle: greed, power, and the hunger for more. This never-ending hunger for more is a cycle that drives the wealthiest to continuously seek out new opportunities. It is a cycle of greed that feeds itself, where each new achievement or acquisition is not the end, but merely a stepping stone to the next. The wealthiest individuals are never satisfied, because satisfaction is not their goal. Power and influence are. The goal is never just to have enough. It's to always be moving forward, always accumulating, always expanding their reach and control. At the core of this endless chase is the human desire to be more, to have more, to dominate. And this drive for more, when combined with the power of money, becomes a force that is unstoppable. The wealthy are driven by the same psychological forces that push anyone to crave more: the need to prove themselves, the desire for recognition, and the thrill of power. But when money is the tool, the consequences are magnified, and the stakes are higher than ever before. As we continue to witness the transformations of money in the digital age, it's essential to recognize the psychological forces at play. Money has evolved from a simple medium of exchange to a tool of immense power, shaping behaviors, desires, and even entire societies. It is no longer just about what you can buy. It's about what you can control, what you can manipulate, and how much more you can acquire before it's never enough. In the world of the ultra-wealthy, there are no boundaries. The pursuit of money, power, and influence never ends. And that's the hidden truth of wealth. It isn't just about having enough. It's about always wanting more, no matter the cost. Building legacy through giving. Philanthropy is not just an act of generosity for the ultra-wealthy. It is a deeply embedded tool for shaping the future and solidifying their place in history. For many of the wealthiest individuals in the world, the true measure of success is not just how much money they accumulate, but how much impact they create during their lifetimes and far beyond. Through charitable giving, they transcend the limitations of personal wealth and create something of enduring value, an influence that will last for generations. Philanthropy, in this context, becomes more than a simple act of giving. It is a strategy for constructing a legacy that reflects both their personal values and their larger ambitions. It is about securing a place in history, not just as a wealthy individual, but as someone who catalyzed meaningful, systemic change in the world. A legacy beyond wealth, the true meaning of giving. The wealthiest individuals do not see philanthropy as a way to simply offload their excess wealth. Instead, they view it as an opportunity to embed themselves in the fabric of society, to imprint their ideologies and values onto the world in a way that is larger than their financial empire. They understand that money, while important, is ultimately a transient asset, but the legacy they create through their giving can have an enduring influence, both in terms of their personal family legacy and the broader impact on society. This pursuit of a legacy goes beyond just establishing charitable foundations or writing a few large checks to a cause. It's about creating a movement, a narrative that tells the story of who they were and what they stood for. The legacy is reflected in the policies they helped shape, the causes they championed, and the lives they touched through their contributions. It becomes a beacon for future generations, inspiring others to follow in their footsteps, create positive change, and continue to build on the foundations they laid. Take, for example, the legacy of Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest men in the world in the late 19th century. Carnegie gave away over 90% of his fortune before he died, primarily focused on funding libraries, educational institutions, and scientific advancements. His contributions created lasting institutions that continue to serve millions of people to this day. Carnegie's name has become synonymous with philanthropy, not because of his wealth, but because of the way he used it to make a permanent difference. His approach wasn't just to give money, it was to invest in the future in a way that would resonate across time, creating systems that would benefit generations, building something that lasts. Strategic philanthropy. When the wealthy engage in philanthropy, they often employ strategic, well-thought-out plans. They understand that effective philanthropy isn't just about making one-off donations. It's about creating institutions, networks, and systems that will continue to have an impact long after the initial donation. For the ultra-wealthy, philanthropy is seen as an investment in the future. The largest philanthropic efforts are typically not one-time donations to a cause, but rather the creation of philanthropic foundations, like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation or the Ford Foundation. These foundations are designed to have an enduring impact, managing the wealth and directing it to causes that align with the founder's values and goals. By establishing a foundation, wealthy individuals are able to dictate how their wealth will be used, often directing it toward long-term projects and global initiatives that address some of the most pressing issues of our time, such as climate change, public health, or global poverty. Philanthropic foundations are often guided by the vision of the founders, who strategically choose projects that will generate sustainable impact. For example, Bill Gates has focused his foundation on global health, education, and poverty alleviation, aiming to solve some of the most difficult and complex problems facing the world. This kind of long-term commitment to specific causes allows these wealthy individuals to ensure their legacy is not only reflected in the projects they support, but also in the tangible, lasting changes that result from their efforts. A major feature of strategic philanthropy is its long-term vision. Wealthy philanthropists often focus on systems that can have a profound and lasting impact, such as education reform, environmental protection, or health innovations. These are not areas where short-term results will satisfy their goals. Instead, they commit to addressing root causes and building structures that can support ongoing solutions, ensuring that their influence continues long into the future. A path to influence, shaping communities and society. Philanthropy is an essential tool for the wealthy to exert influence in the broader community and society. While money offers significant personal rewards, it can also be wielded to shape public life and influence cultural, political, and societal norms. By strategically investing in specific causes, the wealthy not only make an impact in the immediate sense, but also create a ripple effect that influences other sectors of society. For example, when wealthy individuals invest in educational initiatives, they don't just contribute money, they also shape the future workforce, create opportunities for underserved communities, and empower future leaders who will continue their efforts in the future. This strategic influence is a key element in philanthropy, where the impact can reverberate across many different areas of society, from local communities to global institutions. Take the Walton Family Foundation, which focuses on education reform and community development. By investing in initiatives that address educational disparities, the Walton family has had a profound effect on education policy, creating opportunities for low-income children to receive a higher standard of education. This influence extends beyond their family, affecting public policy, creating jobs, and opening up opportunities that might not have been available otherwise. Philanthropic contributions also allow the ultra-wealthy to create and shape the future of industries and sectors they care about, whether it is through funding, cutting-edge scientific research, supporting environmental causes, or funding grassroots social justice movements. Wealthy philanthropists are often seen as pioneers and leaders in shaping the future. The wealthy have the ability to fund initiatives that will steer industries, political discourse, and even public sentiment toward causes they champion. They become thought leaders in society, not just because of their wealth, but because of the investments they make in shaping public attitudes and policy. Philanthropy as a tax strategy, a financial win-win. While philanthropy can be driven by altruistic motives, there is also a strategic financial incentive for the wealthy. Many countries offer tax deductions or credits for charitable donations, which can significantly lower the tax burden for affluent individuals. This creates a win-win situation, where the donor can reduce their taxable income and simultaneously contribute to causes they care about, ensuring that their wealth is working in ways that align with both their values and their financial goals. By giving to qualified charities or establishing foundations, wealthy individuals can significantly reduce their estate taxes, ensuring that a larger portion of their wealth can be passed on to future generations. Donor-advised funds and charitable remainder trusts, for example, allow wealthy individuals to take advantage of tax deductions now, while ensuring that their gifts are used for the long-term benefit of society. This financial strategy is not just about minimizing taxes, but also about creating a legacy that endures. The strategic giving, therefore, provides a means to multiply the impact of their wealth while keeping it within their family. It allows them to exert influence and control, shaping not only their legacy, but also the future financial trajectory of their children and grandchildren. Giving to shape personal values and expression of identity. For the wealthy, philanthropy is an expression of their personal values. It is about more than just giving away money. It is about using wealth to promote the causes and ideals that matter most to them. Many wealthy individuals choose to support causes that have personal significance, perhaps reflecting their own life experiences or family values. Take the example of Michael Bloomberg, who has donated billions to causes related to public health, education, and environmental protection. His giving isn't just about making charitable donations. It's a direct reflection of his personal experiences, particularly his background as a businessman and his concern for the future of the planet. By giving in ways that align with his identity, Bloomberg is able to communicate to the world not just his wealth, but the things that define him. In this way, philanthropy allows wealthy individuals to craft their own public narrative. They can decide which causes are worth supporting, and by doing so, they shape how they will be remembered. Their giving is often a reflection of what they see as the most important aspects of life: sustainability, health, education, or social justice. This narrative is how they wish to be seen, not just as wealthy individuals, but as changemakers who use their financial resources to influence and improve the world. The emotional fulfillment of giving, a source of meaning and purpose. Beyond the practical, strategic, and financial considerations, there's a deep emotional satisfaction that comes from philanthropy. For the wealthy, the act of giving provides a sense of meaning and purpose that money alone cannot achieve. The ability to contribute to something larger than themselves offers a profound sense of fulfillment. Philanthropy provides an opportunity for the wealthy to leave a legacy that speaks not just to their financial success, but to their values, their vision, and their desire to make the world a better place. This emotional reward is powerful. It connects them to something bigger than their personal wealth and gives them a sense of accomplishment that money cannot buy. For example, when Mark Zuckerberg and Priscilla Chan pledged to give away 99% of their Facebook shares, they weren't just making a donation. They were making a statement about how they wanted to contribute to the world. Their commitment to advancing education, curing diseases, and improving global health reflects their deep personal values and provides them with a sense of purpose that goes beyond their massive financial success. The family legacy, philanthropy as a family tradition. One of the most powerful aspects of philanthropy is its ability to bring families together. The wealthiest families often establish charitable foundations or trusts that allow future generations to continue the work they started. This family-centered philanthropy creates a shared mission, building a tradition of giving that can span generations. For example, the Ford family has maintained a strong tradition of philanthropic giving through the Ford Foundation, which continues to support human rights, social justice, and education initiatives worldwide. The foundation has allowed the Ford family to leave a legacy that reflects not just their individual achievements, but their collective commitment to creating a better future. Through philanthropy, families can pass down not only wealth, but also the values that define their success. They teach younger generations the importance of giving back and ensuring that their wealth is used for the betterment of society. This sense of legacy becomes ingrained in the family's identity, creating a long-lasting impact that continues for decades, if not centuries. A legacy that transcends wealth. Ultimately, building a legacy through philanthropy allows the wealthy to create a meaningful and lasting impact on society. It's about more than just giving money away. It's about shaping the future, influencing communities, and establishing a name that will be remembered for generations. Through strategic giving, tax benefits, and the deep emotional satisfaction of contributing to causes they care about, the ultra-wealthy build legacies that will continue to benefit society long after they are gone. Philanthropy is not just a way to spend wealth. It is a powerful tool for creating influence, shaping the world according to personal values, and ensuring that a lasting difference is made. It is, in essence, the ultimate way for the wealthy to leave behind something that transcends wealth, something that speaks to the future of humanity, to the progress of society, and to the values that have shaped the world. Through giving, the wealthy achieve immortality, not in terms of money, but in terms of influence, ideals, and lasting change. The complex nature of wealth. The journey toward understanding the true meaning of money unveils an intricate and often paradoxical world. Wealth is not simply about accumulating vast sums of money, nor is it purely a reflection of status or success. The nature of wealth, in its most profound sense, encompasses a confluence of psychological forces, societal pressures, strategic decisions, and ethical dilemmas. To truly comprehend the depth of what it means to be wealthy, we must not only look at the external indicators of success, but also examine the darker, more subtle aspects that often remain hidden from public view. Wealth, in this sense, is far more than just financial abundance. It is the product of a unique mindset, a psychological architecture that shapes how the wealthy perceive themselves, others, and the world around them. It is about understanding the nuances of human behavior, navigating the murky waters of moral compromise, and grappling with the consequences of decisions that may, at times, blur ethical lines. It is a complex dance between ambition, desire, fear, and power that drives the pursuit of wealth, and in turn, shapes the very character of those who attain it. The dark psychology of wealth, the hidden forces. While the visible side of wealth is often portrayed as the culmination of hard work, smart decisions, and sheer talent, there is a darker side that is rarely discussed openly. The pursuit of immense wealth often involves a psychological shift, a transformation in how one relates to power, control, and success. In the race to achieve greatness, many wealthy individuals embrace certain psychological patterns that are driven by deeply ingrained insecurities and desires. These patterns can be toxic, fostering behaviors that prioritize self-interest over collaboration, dominance over empathy, and greed over generosity. One of the most significant dark psychological traits seen in the wealthy is greed. It is a primal force that drives individuals to amass more than they could ever need or consume. While ambition is commonly admired and seen as a necessary quality for success, unchecked ambition morphs into greed. Greed thrives on scarcity mentality, the idea that there is never enough. It whispers that one must always push for more, take from others, and hoard resources. This constant craving for more wealth can create a toxic cycle, where satisfaction is fleeting, and the only focus becomes the pursuit of greater riches. Behind this insatiable hunger for wealth is a profound fear of losing it all. For the wealthy, the acquisition of money often goes hand in hand with a deep-seated insecurity that their wealth could vanish. This fear can lead to a paranoia about the future, prompting extreme measures to safeguard their fortune. It is not uncommon for the ultra-wealthy to adopt a hyper-competitive, ruthless mindset where trust is scarce and betrayal is always lurking around the corner. The pursuit of wealth, in this light, becomes a game of survival, a zero-sum game where winning means leaving others behind. The psychological drive for wealth is also heavily linked to status. In many cases, wealth is seen as the ultimate validation of a person's worth. As a result, the wealthy may develop an obsession with status and a constant need to prove their superiority. This obsession is not just about acquiring material goods or luxuries, but about prestige and recognition. Money becomes a marker of power, control, and identity. It allows individuals to project an image of success and to control how others perceive them. This quest for status can lead to a life of superficiality, where genuine relationships are sidelined in favor of appearances and status symbols. Yet, this dark side of wealth is not always visible. Behind closed doors, many wealthy individuals struggle with loneliness, isolation, and a profound sense of emptiness. The pressure to maintain wealth, the moral compromises made along the way, and the incessant pursuit of more can take a significant emotional toll. Many wealthy individuals find themselves trapped in a gilded cage, surrounded by opulence, but unable to experience true contentment. The burden of their wealth, ironically, can strip them of the very joys they sought to obtain, creating a paradox where success brings about its own form of suffering. However, it would be wrong to paint wealth as purely negative, or to claim that all wealthy individuals fall into the trap of greed and insecurity. There are those who use their wealth to empower others, elevate society, and foster long-term positive change. Wealth can be a powerful tool for good, provided it is wielded with awareness and intention. Many of the wealthiest individuals have adopted philosophies of stewardship, seeing their wealth not as something to hoard, but as a tool to create lasting impact. In these cases, wealth becomes a means to contribute to the greater good, whether by supporting education, advancing healthcare, or tackling issues like climate change and inequality. The positive side of wealth also reveals itself in the emotional intelligence and strategic thinking that many successful individuals develop. Wealth often comes from thinking outside the box, from innovating, and from solving problems in ways that others cannot. This mindset fosters an ability to adapt, take risks, and pioneer new frontiers, often for the benefit of society at large. The wealthiest individuals tend to view challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and transformation. Wealth can also provide an extraordinary level of freedom. With money comes the power to choose one's path, to avoid the constraints that come with financial insecurity, and to live a life dictated by one's passions and values. This freedom allows for the cultivation of personal growth, the pursuit of knowledge, and the ability to explore creative and entrepreneurial endeavors without the fear of failure that holds many back. For some, wealth becomes an opportunity to immerse themselves in new ideas, experiences, and ventures that can create new forms of wealth, intellectual, emotional, and cultural. Additionally, wealth can enable individuals to live a life of purpose, using their resources to fund initiatives that align with their personal beliefs. It allows them to support causes that matter to them deeply, creating positive ripples in society. When wealthy individuals channel their money into philanthropy, they can bring about systemic changes in the world that extend far beyond their own lives. They can empower the underprivileged, fund research that could cure diseases, and support communities in need. In these cases, wealth becomes a powerful force for social good. and individuals can experience the deep fulfillment that comes from knowing they are leaving behind a legacy of generosity and impact. The ethical dilemma, a balancing act between wealth and morality. However, the road to wealth is often fraught with moral compromise. To accumulate vast amounts of wealth, individuals must navigate a landscape full of difficult choices. They may need to make decisions that challenge their ethical compass, balancing personal gain with the welfare of others. For many wealthy individuals, the pursuit of wealth involves negotiating with their conscience, making compromises that may lead to questions about fairness, integrity, and justice. The ethical dilemmas faced by the wealthy often revolve around issues of labor, exploitation, social responsibility, and environmental sustainability. Wealth can be built on the backs of those who are less privileged, creating tension between profit maximization and human rights. It's not uncommon for wealthy individuals and corporations to come under scrutiny for engaging in exploitative practices or for their role in perpetuating inequality. As society becomes increasingly aware of these issues, the moral implications of wealth are becoming a focal point of public discourse. For the ultra-wealthy, there is a constant tension between personal gain and the need for ethical responsibility. Some may justify their wealth through the lens of meritocracy, believing they have earned their success through hard work and innovation. Others may feel an overwhelming sense of guilt or responsibility, questioning whether they have done enough to use their wealth for the greater good. Wealth and human nature, a mirror to ourselves. At its core, the nature of wealth is a reflection of human nature, our desires, our ambitions, and our fears. The pursuit of wealth illuminates our greatest strengths and our darkest flaws. It offers a mirror into the very essence of who we are, as individuals and as a society. It asks us fundamental questions about what we value, how we define success, and whether the pursuit of wealth is truly the path to happiness. Ultimately, understanding the true nature of wealth means embracing both its dark and light sides. Wealth is not inherently good or evil. It is a powerful tool that amplifies whatever values and beliefs we hold most deeply. In its most positive form, it can create change, provide freedom, and foster human connection. In its darkest form, it can breed greed, exploitation, and corruption. The key lies in awareness, recognizing the psychological forces that drive the pursuit of wealth and understanding the choices we make along the way. By cultivating a mindset that prioritizes ethical decision-making, emotional intelligence, and long-term impact, individuals can transform their relationship with wealth and create a life that is not just financially abundant, but morally grounded and meaningful. In the end, the complexity of wealth lies not in the quantity of money amassed, but in the journey of understanding its true nature, the way it shapes us, defines us, and ultimately reflects our highest aspirations and our deepest fears.